Like spatial dimensions, there are also time dimensions. But it is not exactly the same. There are no actual dimensions that make up time. Time is merely the result of change, and change is the result of particles moving. But there are still ways that time can be represented in dimensions. Let's start with the zeroth dimension. Like the zeroth spatial dimension, the zeroth time dimension also has only one point. And the only way for space to only have one point that never changes is if there is zero energy, or everything is at absolute zero, throughout the entire space. When there is zero energy, there is also zero movement, and therefore there will only be one point in time. But because the zeroth time dimension also has no time, it can only exist for 0 seconds, following the time standards of higher dimensions. If space must be in constant motion for time to exist, then a zero-time dimensional space will only exist for a single point in time, which is infinitely short. This is the reason why the initial singularity that caused the Big Bang came into existence. As long as time exists, there has to be particles which can change. That leads us to the first time dimension. The first time dimension is the most basic form that time can flow in. It is also most likely the only time dimension that can exist. We currently live with one-dimensional time. Like the first spatial dimension, the first time dimension is composed of zero-dimensional points, and you will only perceive them one at a time. It's kind of like watching an animation with infinite frame rate, with each frame being a 0D point in time. But unlike the first spatial dimension, the first time dimension can only move forward. This is the same with every other time dimension. Remember, time is the cause of particles moving, and no matter what gravity or energy a particle has, it will never move backwards. Even if you somehow got a negative mass object and achieved negative space-time dilation, the space-time will not affect entropy in a way that it will move backwards. It will only speed the rate of entropy up, the opposite of positive space-time. So the first time dimension is a fixed timeline of events, where there is only one universe where particles can be affected by entropy and move. Entropy in the first dimension is more of a chain reaction of events, where anything that happens to a particle has a cause, and therefore things in the universe are not all chaotic. But entropy in the second dimension is different. Entropy in the second dimension is truly random, and therefore any particle can be in any possible state at any point in time. This makes it so that the second dimension is far more chaotic than the first, since any particles can have any amount of energy, all at once. But due to points in time being infinitely short, anything will be able to happen at any moment. This makes it so every single one-dimensional timeline possible will play out all at the same time in the second dimension. This includes any timeline where anyone seems to be time traveling or doing the impossible, since there are no real laws of physics in the second time dimension. Anything above the second time dimension becomes even more hypothetical. For example, in the third time dimension, there will be an infinite amount of second-dimensional planes of time playing out at once. This could happen if infinity could be multiplied by infinity, but the resulting number is currently only hypothetical. The rest of the time dimensions also follow this pattern, an infinite amount of the previous time dimension playing out at once. So yeah, that is my theory on what the time dimensions are like. So sorry if any of it might be wrong. See you next time, and bye.